them little wiry guys like hell. He can get down through here just like a piece of spring steel. Do a somersault down through here and not break a limb. I'm just like a 4x8 sheet of plywood being thrown down through here. Snap, crackle, pop, Rice Krispies. Well, good morning everyone. Day 3 up here in the Jackman area. Going back into the same area we was in yesterday. Got enough wind and a little flurry last night. Should be able to tell the fresh tracks pretty easy. So hopefully we'll be able to get into something pretty good. I forgot to give an update yesterday on that smaller track that I ran. I ended up going up in here on that track, I don't know, 500-600 yards. Get up into a spruce grove and big doe stood up. Could have shot her easy enough, but not what we was looking for. So I'm gonna hike this gated road way back in, not too far from the Canadian border. See if we can pick up a nice buck track. Give him a push. Got warm weather coming in tonight, rain tomorrow, so unless a miracle happens, this is more than likely the last day of snow this week. Looking at the forecast. So we gotta try to make the best of it. This might be the last real good chance this week. I like to stay positive, but I don't have the highest hopes on bare ground hunting up in this country. So we'll keep you posted throughout the day as we go. See how things look. Well, I only came in here about half 3/4 of a mile. I got a wicked, quite fresh track here. Got a little dust and a powder in the night, and there's nothing in it. It's not a humongous track, but it's a good, decent track. If I get on it right now, I'll be able to run it for the day. I'll have a good chance of catching up. This is the last day I think we're gonna have snow. Kind of torn. I know another guy from camp's coming in on the other road that he's headed in. I don't know if he's already gone across that road. It might get cut off. I don't know. Here's the track. Uh-oh. What the heck, I think I'll give him a try. I know I'll have take the guaranteed thing instead of keep going in further and messing around. I think we'll go ahead and try him. Although that is the same country up in there where I run that doe, and she it's pretty thick country up there, but I think we'll give it a try unless I change my mind in the next 10 seconds. Alright, keep you posted. That buck's gone right into that same area where I jumped up that doe yesterday when I took her track. He's been running right up and down my track from yesterday. He just kicked up this little scrape here. Did a little paw in there. The dirt still froze pretty good where he pawed. so I'm gonna put the feet right to where I was moving a little slow right here because I was starting to transition into a big green growth. And I want to make sure he wasn't right in the edge of that, but laying down, but I don't think he is. He's turned away from it now. So I'm gonna put the feet right to her until something changes on the track. I think we got a good chance of maybe catching this one. At least get a look at him maybe. Yeah, I just found a spot where he could cross some water again. There was ice in the track, so moving right along here. Gotta make up some time. It's still pretty fresh, but pretty open country. I can move right along through here. So I'll try to make up some time on him. Well, I kept following that buck along. Found a place where he tended on a few does. Just bedded up in this edge of this mountain here. I don't know, he went through some spots. It was awful narrow and brushy. I don't think he had much on top of his head. So, still got time to salvage. With this being the last snow, he just doesn't feel like something I want to go after. So, I'm gonna run back down to the road. It's not very far, and we can keep going in, see if we can get on something else. We didn't lose a huge amount of time. But glad we checked him out anyways. We'll hopefully we can find something else in a little further and give you something to see. Alright, came in here around 2.5 miles. Cut quite a lot of fresh tracks, but nothing I was excited about. I just came across this one that's quite fresh. It's pretty good size. I don't know if I told you the story heading up. I fell down the brook anyways, just didn't hit my scope and I had to shoot a round off, make sure it's on. That's why that one, empty brass I was measuring the track with. So I ain't gonna talk all day. We gotta get on this track. See if we can make something happen. Well, still on that track. It's about 10 o'clock. Gone just shy of 6 miles. Messed around out in a cut for a while. Tended a few does. Then he run me along the base of a mountain. Turned one up a bowl. Now he's headed up over it. About halfway up now. I don't know if you can tell or not, but when I start going uphill, I ain't in the best of shape, but we're gonna keep it on pushing. I think we're about 2,400 feet right now. Top's 2,600 feet, but he's kind of veering to the right. I think he's gonna go sideways on it here pretty quick. Looking at the onyx, there's a big cut on the back side of this mountain. I'm wondering if he isn't going to cut across and check on some does over in that cut, but we'll see. He stopped and fed one little bit. No beds, no rubs, no scrapes. Just walking. It's a nice looking track though. We'll stay on it. Hopefully he'll bed down here someplace or do something so he can make up some time. Because I certainly ain't the one that's gonna make up any time on if he stays on his feet. But we'll give her all we got anyways. Almost at the top of the mountain. He stopped me in a real thick spot. He still hasn't stopped to feed or anything, but I just feel like he's not too far off, as thick as it is up here. There's no does up here that I've seen. Maybe he was on the way to somewhere over the top. I just feel like he's ready to get close, but he hasn't given me any feeding or anything like that to give an indication he's gonna lay down. But it's kind of touchy. I don't know whether to go slow or whether I should just pound right through, because I don't know for sure what he did. He might have went right through this and came out somewhere else, and I'd just be wasting a lot of time. I just feel in my gut that he's ready to get close. I'm gonna take it slow. Use the tip I can a little bit, maybe grunt a little. See what we see. see if we can at least get a look at him. Oh, he's put me down through all kinds of foolishness now. I'm a little wide to get him through some of these places. I ain't being very quiet. I hope I don't catch up to him in here the first time. Take them little wiry guys like hell. He can get down through here just like a piece of spring steel. Do a somersault down through here and not break a limb. I'm just like a 4x8 sheet of plywood being thrown down through here. Snap, crackle, pop, Rice Krispies. But you just gotta keep after it. Do the best you can. We're going downhill hard now off that mountain. We should be kicking back out into the hardwoods pretty quick. For goodness sakes, I hope he lays down or something. We'll stay after him, see how it goes. Well, we just come down out of that green growth. Came down across the big muskeg here. Went mud right in my knee out in one spot. We blow right down across there. Getting right to the bottom of the mountain range that makes up the Canadian border, so I hope he don't swing up over there. Geez, must have 6, 7 inches of snow way up here. See my, you can see pretty spot. That's the Canadian border, that mountain range. So he takes a hard ride up over there. It'd be out of play, not to mention I'd be dead if I could go up that mountain. Steep. Not made for that, man. Let's stay after it. Stop talking. Well, just as I feared, he's headed up the mountain. Head for the Canadian border, but I gotta stick with him to the bitter end. You never know when he could make a swing. Gotta give her all we got long as we can. Just gotta keep your mind focused. Keep your mind focused. Well, finally, we gained a little bit. About halfway up this mountain, he either met up with a doe, or he cut the doe's track. And he slowed right up once he met up with that doe and started feeding. I snuck up here and found his bed, and he bedded up right here right after he fed. But he'd been up and gone, because I don't see a running track out of there. He must have been up and gone before I got here, but that's gotta gain me a lot of time on freshening up the track. Here's the bed here. Pretty good sized bed. So we gotta keep going here. See if we can get a look at him. He's headed back down the mountain, away from the border, so we was getting close, but that's good. Keep you posted. Wow, there's another bed. He's still with that doe. I'm gonna keep on him, see what happens. Alright, I just saw the track was freshening up good. I just gone to some bounding track. I jumped him without seeing him. Looks like the buck's gone off on his own now. I'm gonna give him a little time, have my sandwich, and we'll get back after him, let him settle down a little bit, but at least we're caught up. He hit those 2 beds, he caught up with that doe, fed a little and then had a little nap. Closed up some distance. So, but he knows I'm on to him now, so I don't know, see if we can at least get a look at him. Well, I'm gonna give him about 20-30 minutes. Eat my sandwich here. So far everything's been textbook of all I've read and seen. Running quite a while. Kind of zombie walking, didn't stop at all. Went over one mountain. We come up to this mountain that leads up to the Canadian border. Finally, halfway up that mountain, he met that doe. That stopped him. I saw him feed 2 or 3 times with that doe. Bedded down. Tracks coming out of the bed, weren't running, just walking. Started feeding again. So I knew I didn't bump him out of his bed. Then wasn't 50 yards later, they bed down again. Tracks coming out of the bed weren't running, so I knew I didn't jump him out of that bed. And I knew the tracks were freshening up quick then. But then they were moving right along then. I said, well, maybe they're gonna move it along. So I said, geez, I can't go super slow here. They're not feeding or anything, I didn't think. And they weren't too far away. They must have saw me. And where the doe went, I didn't see where she peeled off. That buck, he's turned and gone back up this mountain. Hopefully he don't go across the Canadian border and give me a slip. Give him a little break. Give me a little break. And see if we can't do something. If not, it's been a great time, a great experience. And we'll see how it turns out. Well, as you can probably tell, I wasn't able to finish the deed, but what a fun hunt. What a fun hunt. A lot of textbook stuff in there, a lot of stuff I learned. That's the most important thing. Yeah. So we got down this, come out on the edge of this big cliff that I could probably see 300 yards in places. And I was peeking, looking, thinking, jeez, he's got to be right there. About 5 seconds later, 2 or 3 deer blowing all the way across the clear cut, just out of sight. Once I got into the clear cut, I did a little inspecting. That buck had run right down off that ridge there, a nice game trail I found there, nice deer trail. And he run right into a gob of them does and lambs. Partridge just chuck off, jumped the draws right at me. Anyways, he run right through them does and lambs. And they all took off. Rear end over tea kettle running, blowing, carrying on. Just out of sight across that clear cut. So once I got down there and investigated and found out what was going on, I looked at my clock and it was getting close to 1:00. And I'm in here quite a poke, probably 4 miles walk back to the truck. So I said to myself, because all the way, ever since I first jumped him, he's been doing short bounds and the long bounds when he gets in the open. He took me right back across the top of that mountain that was all the toothpicks that we went across this morning. Of course, I'm crackety snapping and popping across there because I don't fit and he does. But I did notice he's going in a little wider pass. Makes me think he had some pretty decent headgear. So anyways, we went all the way back up over that mountain, down through the clear cut thing that I just told you. I was running out of time. And I could see the end of one of them winter roads that I've been walking in on. We'd come all the way back around Hogan's Barn. So I run right down over the hill to that winter road. I was thinking, I only got 1 shot left because I can't keep chasing him like this. I don't have the time for it. He was turning and going. I couldn't, back up the mountain, I think. So I run right down to that winter road, and then I run right down it to get beyond the direction that they run. I got down there quite a ways. I don't know how far. I didn't measure it. And then I started to hook back, and I was trying to get them inside the circle when I hooked back up the mountain. So I snuck real easy in the old Death Creek back up some of those old twitch roads, hoping that I'd gone down far enough. And I had almost closed the loop. And I found the buck track going back out. And then I said, well, he got the best of me. He got out of the loop. And then when I was coming back, the does and lambs seemed like they turned around and went back out into the clear cut. So I let out a big bray to him, telling him he won, congratulating him. I got my rear end kicked. Now I'm taking a long walk out to the car. So that's pretty much the end of today's hunt. Right now it feels pretty cool, but it's supposed to be fairly warm tomorrow. I don't know if we're going to lose all that snow or not. Up in them mountains, I bet there was 6+ inches. I was up there about 2,800 feet one time, and the snow was right up to my ankles. I took some video of it. So up there, if things stay cool enough and it don't rain too much, might have one more little shot in the morning before it all melts off. We'll give her a go. But if not, I mean, this hunt radio is just a great one. Good old textbook. Buck chasing, buck wins in the end. But we'll get him next time.